Welcome back to Dead of Ages Past. This is session number 11, entitled The Small Boat from Seiryu. All will make sense by end. Last session, some shenanigans happened. Some shenanigans, to be sure. Good times were had by me and others, but they very narrowly escaped a very dire and horrible situation. And after a long, just gritty battle, they ended up back at Gilbert's apartment after having a discussion. Not much of one. They all kind of went to bed. Some in bedrolls. A couple of cots are present. And a couple of you don't actually sleep. So that makes for good. Bullet and Ren are active and conscious when Gilbert checks the door after a short knock, picks up a parcel, looks it over real quick, kind of looks over his shoulder at you, Ren, and says, "Hey, you guys, I got this thing I gotta handle. It's really important business, and I don't want to slow you down. Or actually, he kind of looks to Bullet. I don't really want to bring you along either. I'll be back in a bit. Here, yeah, bye." And he leaves, and you see that he leaves a couple
Have fun on your tax returns.
You see that he leaves a couple of things on the a small little shelf near the door.
Does he leave the key?
So you inspect the items that he leaves, and you would note that he has left a small bag of coin, a key, and a note.
Okay, so let's take the coin and the key and read the note.
The note reads, and you kind of notice too that even though the apartment's kind of in the center and there's no windows or anything, there's still kind of a sense that it's raining outside. The note reads, "I'll be at Alderac all day, working on obtaining what is rightfully mine. If any sharks swing by, give them what's in the bag. Thanks." The key is obviously to the apartment. The bag has 50 guilders.
Okay.
Okay. As you sit there and wait, because this is kind of pretty early dawn, as you sit there and wait for everybody to wake up, Broxgar's snoring is countered by a loud knock at the door. This being an hour and a half or so after Gilbert has left.
Mm-hmm.
I answer the door.
Okay. You see that it's Blackguard, the night shark, bugbear. He's looking at you and he says, "Hey, is your little friend here, or is it just you?"
No, he stepped out, but he did leave something for you. Ren, the bag?
Well, that's fine. And as he kind of leans back and kind of gestures for his hand to receive the bag, he says, "That's fine and all, but if I remember correctly, you had some words for Hadrian, and he had to think it over a bit. And he's come to the decision that if you're going to stay here, have you handed him the bag?
Not yet.
Not yet.
If you're going to stay here, not only is the coin going to be necessary, but if you're expecting us to assist with your matter, you're going to have to prove yourself to us. We've got a little bit of a gig for you."
I'm assuming Hadrian would like us to swing by for the details.
Yeah. And you kind of notice at this point, as he's kind of waiting for the bag, that the hallway seems to be filled with people. Like you can kind of tell from the creaking and the just idle like shifting from foot to foot. And if you just kind of quickly glance, it looks like there's about 7 other people in the hallway besides Blackguard, who look like Tufts, night sharks. And he says, "Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to take you over to the Red Dragon, and you'll get your information there."
Oh, now you mean.
Yeah. If you and yours are ready.
One moment, please.
And then you close the door.
Certainly.
And I attempt to close the door.
He puts his big burly bugbear hand in the way and says, "Sorry, you know how Adrian is. boss's orders. Got to make sure you aren't trying anything peculiar. I know there's no real exits that I can see, but who knows, you know? Rashtagar is a literal hive of tunnels and whatnot.
I turn and look back at Ren with a raised eyebrow.
Like the look as if, are we doing this? And I think the answer is yes, right? We're doing this, right? I mean, doesn't this help our ultimate goal?
I open the door and allow him to step through.
Yeah, kind of a small apartment. I'll just wait out here in the hallway if you don't mind. It's fine. Just hurry on up, gather yours and yours, and we'll head on down there. It's not too far a walk, as I'm sure you're already aware.
So let's rouse the others and tell them what's happening.
You hear in the background, yeah, so long as no airships drop big robots on us, we should be fine. You hear another guy go,
Are Beavis and Butthead out there?
yeah, apparently so.
So, and then from what I recall, in Gilbert's apartment, it was myself. Oh wait, Ren, were you in this, or were you downstairs with your swordsman buddy?
No, I thought I was with you, wasn't I?
That was Brox
yeah.
was in downstairs with the swordsman.
Yeah,
And Lauren and Sam were not in the house at all, right?
correct.
Okay,
So it's really just the two of us then.
right.
So once you gather everybody up, so Broxgar wasn't sleeping there, that's right. Once you gather everybody up, the two of you, he kind of goes, does a little one of these. What about the green-haired one?
He did not spend the night here.
Yeah, we're gonna need him. Do you know where he was? Where he went?
We don't know,
Fucking your
correct?
mother.
Like, didn't they just like?
Yeah, you kind of just
Right.
left.
No, they. Him and the colorful cloaked one went their own way.
Yeah, well, I hate to break it to you, but it sounds like we got a morning ahead of us. We gotta find them. Cut scene to so Broxgar, you stayed with the swordsman,
Right.
and it was in the same apartment complex.
Yeah. 4 below.
Yeah. So you're woke. You would note that the man, the swordsman, isn't present. Doesn't appear to be anywhere that you can see him. But you do hear a lot of footsteps up above you, and you know that Gilbert, his apartment's not too far up from where you're at, and it's basically in the hallway is where that sound would be coming from. It sounds like a very loud group of people for some reason at Gilbert's apartment.
Oh, I'm gonna grab my gun and probably still in my underpants march upstairs to see what this commotion is.
Okay. When you come up the
That's a
stairs,
great-
you do see that there's like the very first thing you see at the top of the steps. Are you trying to be stealthy, or are you just dwarven
Oh
bar?
no, I'm marching upstairs with my gun out.
Okay.
What the hell?
You see a bunch of night sharks. They all turn towards you, start reaching for daggers, and then you hear the bugbear Blackguard that you know. He's saying, "Hold it, hold it. Are you gonna shoot, little one, or dwarf, or are you gonna what? Are we good?"
Could you keep it down, maybe? Some people are trying to sleep in here.
And he kind of shakes his head, and he looks over to Ren inside the house, or inside the apartment, which is still open. And he says, "Do you want to tell him, or you want me to?"
So Ren would tell him what's happening. Get your stuff, Broxgar. We need your help.
All right. Just give me a minute.
Get your underpants.
I go back downstairs and clothe myself.
Okay. And you guys muster. And basically what Blackguard has basically stated to you is that you and his gang are going to parade around this portion of town until you find Sam and Yen Lauren and bring them to the Red Dragon with you. Meanwhile, Sam and Yen Lauren, if I recall correctly, you found a random inn nearby, not too far from Tavern Lane, and stayed there, right?
Yeah.
Stayed there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You wake up, probably not terribly early, but early enough, and you wouldn't be able to cast your spell on Bulette because you're not with him, or I'm sorry, with her. Apologies. What would you like to do?
You know, I still don't know what happened to my crew, so it might not be terrible to find.
Why are you coming in twice?
You have a reverb.
Oh no, That is weird. Why am I coming in twice?
Now you're good.
You're good now.
Okay, that was weird. I don't know why, because the Zoom was muted too.
Yeah,
So
I don't have Zoom
Anyway.
audio, so yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I was saying, I was just thinking, I don't know what necessarily happened to my crew from the other night, so it might not be a bad idea to find what happened to them.
This is perfectly reasonable plan to me.
Ren, make an investigation check with advantage.
Nice. $19.
You very quickly find their hotel and where they're staying. And,
Great. So we go straight to them.
Okay. As you guys gather up and head down the stairs, you see that in the main lobby, and this is before anyone notices you, and determinant on how you respond is how we'll kind of interact from there. But in the lobby of the hotel room are 7 night sharks, very clearly night sharks with their kind of purplish hoods. Blackguard, who you recall from the other night, Ren, Broxgar, and Valette just chilling in the lobby, looking around. It looks like Ren is up at the front counter, like inquiring, and it looks like the clerk behind the counter has a large book out, which you remember signing when you signed into it. You signed false names. Obviously, you wouldn't sign real ones, but Ren very inquisitively kind of looks and kind of goes tap, 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 and goes, yep, and nods his head like he knows. He's fingered you out. Basically, he knows where you're located.
They probably captured them. We should go out the back.
Sounds a reasonable plan to me.
Stealth checks.
We're not gonna capture too.
Dexterity stealth checks. And Ren, advantage, wisdom perception check.
All right. 22.
21.
Beat ya.
He kind of looks over to you.
Why does he have advantage on this?
Because you guys were walking down the stairs, saw the situation, and then were like, beat feet! It wasn't a, oh, ho, 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 and then you guys escaped. It was more of a, yeah, Ren, you see them up there, and it looks like they're about ready to kind of skirt.
And I say, Yen Lauren, come on. Come back here.
I run faster than Elf. Let's go.
Yeah, I start beating it towards
You hear Blackguard
whatever
say,
exit there is.
you're not getting out of this section of the city alive if you go away. Just stop.
This is a challenge I have beat before.
Do you guys try to move towards the place where you can escape out of a different section of that floor?
Yeah, is there a window?
Yeah, you go to it. Make a wisdom perception check.
We're not inclined to fight for you if you do something this stupid, you know?
9.
Looks clear. Yeah, you could jump down, no problem. Looks clear. You could jump down, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, like, how high is the window? Do we know?
About 12 feet.
Okay, yeah, jump out the window.
Okay. All right. Yen, you're watching him as he drops down. The second he hits the ground, you notice 2 cloaked figures come out of the shadows, wearing purple cloaks, and one of them just brings a sap to the back of Sam's head. Make a Constitution saving throw. There, Sam. Welcome to the
12.
good night, sweet prince, as he's knocked unconscious. Ba-thunk. And one of them, the other one looks up at you, Yen, and says, got the place surrounded, guy. Boss says you're coming in, you're coming in.
So
I imagine like I'm halfway out the window,
You're
like
kind of looking
about
at
to
it.
jump.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at him, and I'm looking here, and I'm looking behind me. It's like, well,
When you look over your shoulder
These-
behind you, you do see the throng of Blackguard and the other 7, with Ren kind of in tow, heading up after you.
this is it's embarrassing. Holds his hands up.
Grab him by the ear and pull him along.
No. Anyway, if you guys want to have an exchange as you and what seems to be like 15 to 20 night sharks head towards the red dragon in force. The thing that you're noticing immediately is, Ren, ever since you've got onto the streets, they've been moving around you like this, and it's not too dissimilar to Mardigan tactics. Basically, they're running cover on you. They're making sure no one gets in to interfere with you and talks to you. They're making sure no one like tries to spot you or see you or single you out. And it kind of seems like they're trying to protect you from anything oncoming.
So where were you yesterday, Blackguard?
Kind of looks over his shoulder at you. I was having my drink with the boss.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
And you intend to help us in our situation. That's what you're offering in return.
I'm offering you nothing, buddy. Sorry, I just do what the boss says. And you guys arrive at the Red Dragon. If you have, is there any other exchanges that you want to get to, you guys? Yen and
No.
Sam's basically being woken up and is brought to and enters into the throng shortly before it begins. Sam, so you are conscious, but you got a little bit of a ooh on your head.
Okay.
Okay. Nobody says anything. Super quiet the whole time, except for Prox.
Yeah, I'm gonna be making fun of them.
Vlet's just observing.
Making fun of Yen and Sam, you mean?
No,
I would just shake my head at them.
Okay.
and asking what they would do if the conglomerate started dropping out of the sky and attacking. How much good they'd be
Same thing a couple of your
with
friends.
their
Blackguard says,
little cover and run.
same thing a couple of your friends did. I'd run, because I'm not stupid, but I'd make sure you guys are safe, because that's my job.
Well, yeah, I have lots of faith in you.
It's fine. Yeah. He opens the door to the Red Dragon as you're basically spitting that last insult and says, take a seat.
Take your own fucking seat.
You see the guy who walloped you on the back of the head. You got a flash of him. He looks like he's got a sap in his hand, and he's like, come on.
At that, I reach out, sort of move over between the two, reach out a hand to like calm the sap
Okay.
palming into Sam. I know this isn't the most pleasant predicament you find
What do you
yourself.
mean this fucking isn't the most pleasant predicament? This is the worst shitting fucking thing that could happen right now. You bastards!
None of us had a say in this, but we can try to make the best of this situation.
Hey,
Let's just hear them out and see what they have to say.
don't keep the contact waiting. Gestures towards the tavern.
I'll go in. I like
All right.
taverns.
The tavern's got a few people in it, but it's like mid-morning or early morning, rather. It has been raining outside, drizzling a bit, but there's still quite a few people in here despite that. There's a group of tabaxi who have taken up a table, drinking. They've got really interesting like hairstyles, and it seems like they've dyed portions of their hair pink and purple and other different colors, and earrings are kind of hanging out of their ears. There's an older lady who you think you remember seeing here the last time you were inside, and a whole different other people. It looks like the barkeep just kind of seems to be the same one from the night before. Just doesn't look like he's gone to sleep, or if he did it right there at the bar. And Blackguard and his crew don't enter in. Looks like they kind of fan out around the building, and Blackguard kind of stays outside at the door. What do you do? So, Andy?
So we would go in and look for Hadrian.
He isn't present in the common room, and it looks like the door to his back room is closed.
Is there someone in front of the door?
None. Doesn't look like, if you had to venture a guess, based on the lack of coverage of the door, you don't think Hadrian is here.
Who is here?
So it's a group of about 5 or 6 tabaxi, an old lady, the barkeep, and just 2 common folk who look like they're probably merchants.
Tell me about the old lady. What does she look like?
Yeah, it's the same old lady who was here last night. She looks like a regular. She's got a big tankard in front of her, and it looks like she's got 3 more at her table that are empty. You remember, because you're pretty inquisitive and perceptive guy, you remember seeing her the night before, but she wasn't terribly important. She had about 10 tankards at her table the night before, and she had a couple of gentlemen with her. But she's, I'd say, somewhere in her 60s or 70s, if you had to venture a guess on human ages. And it looks like she's missing the better part of all of her teeth.
Okay.
I approach the bartender.
Barkeep says, "Yeah, what's up?"
Blackguard said that we were expected.
Not my business. Take a seat. You want to order something? Got mutton on the spit. If you're looking for something to chew on.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll take 4 of those.
All right. And he goes to the back and starts preparing.
I go grab an empty table
Okay.
and usher everyone over.
All right. Yeah. Shortly after you sit down, you hear a ping, ping sound, which anybody who's been in contact with or knows of communication devices would know that that's an alert from that. See one of the tabaxi kind of pick up his communication device and start speaking into it. And then very shortly after a second, with a confused face, he kind of walks over to Ren and says, "Hey, Burke, it's for you. Be quick with it, huh?"
He calls me Burke.
Yeah.
Okay. I would pick it up and say.
You would know
"Hello?"
Burke is like a slang term for like bloke, dude, guy.
Ah, okay, great. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. And yeah, you listen, and quietly and slowly, the other end of the communication device speaks. Say nothing. Only listen. When I ask for an answer, you say yes or no, and nothing more. Warehouse 214. Blue Street. West 31st Street. If you desire to make things right with us, be there at noon. The work will be dangerous, but rewarding and brief. Shall I expect you?
Yes.
You hear a click.
Wow. I think we have an assignment, folks.
The voice
I would
does.
write down. I would write down as quickly as possible what he said, so I wouldn't forget. Just Warehouse 214, Blue Street, West 31st.
Yeah, which you assume is a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thank God you took the phone call, not me.
this boy's had something. So
Friday.
you wouldn't recognize the voice. It doesn't sound like Hadrian by any means. Make a Wisdom Arcana check if you'd like.
Do I sense that the voice was masked intentionally?
Perhaps. But yeah, make that Wisdom Arcana check.
9.
You definitely know that the accent was Parnan. Sounded like a Parnan. But there was something off about it, and you're just not sure what.
Oh wait, so
Wisdom Arcana.
I rolled with
What's your Wisdom modifier?
intelligence. I rolled intelligence arcana.
What's your Wisdom modifier?
It's plus 2.
It would be the same. You're not proficient in
Okay.
Arcana.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys sit there. Ren, what do you tell them?
Yes.
Or what do you tell them?
Oh, so I tell them what happened, and I write down exactly what's going on. I say, I think we have a job. This is like, no messing around. We just have to. I think if we want to do this, we have to prove ourselves.
Sam just like scoffs under his breath.
What do you do with the communication device?
Oh, I mean, I would give it back to Debaxi because he said he
Thanks.
really wanted it. Yeah. Look, and we're gonna say, look to Sam. I know you're new to the group, but we have a bigger mission in mind. So, I mean, if you don't want to stay with us, that's up to you. But this is kind of what we need to do. He would
And
look at
Sam
Valet.
Sam just shuts off.
That's up to you.
Just as you shut off and cross your arms and kind of lower your head, a big plate of mutton and a tankard of some kind of like juice is set out in front of you. The barkeep sets one in front of everybody. The mutton smells really good.
Except, well, we'd be one short.
Oh
on
yeah, no,
purpose.
Bullet doesn't get one, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. definitely.
Okay. So yeah, I'm leaving the table open to you. If you guys have any inquiries, any thing that you want to try and figure out. But the one thing I want to point out to you, Ren, is besides the message that you were granted, you would also know that the main connection I kind of want to point out here is the voice was not Hadrian's.
I understand.
Seems awfully convenient to me they come to us with this offer after we fight the conglomerate in the streets. I'm keeping my voice down, by the way, just so that maybe Ren or whoever's. But I feel like it's maybe not so much of a we need them thing, and maybe they need us for something in particular. Maybe they've seen what we can do now, or at least heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also awfully dangerous us walking around in a big group in broad daylight with the conglomerate's eyes on us.
Oh, to be fair, I want to point something out too, Joe. I don't think I related too much. It was more towards Andy, and I think he might have caught it, but they weren't literally surrounding you like a big blockade. They were like moving in side streets and kind of keeping in alleyways. Yeah, they were doing the rogue thing.
Yeah, I got you.
You were aware of them.
They're there,
but
but they're
yeah.
not there.
To Brox, it kind of just seemed funny. Like, what would these guys do if their constructs started popping up out of
I'm like,
nowhere?
fucking hell, that's what they would do.
Yeah, that's why I was poking fun at them.
So, if we're all whispering, Ren would sort of remind them what happened after the fight, where the wizard on the ship tried to modify Rem's memory so that he wouldn't know what happened and be able to tell the Yellow Caps. And so, he thinks that this is definitely the conglomerate hiding their actions from the City Watch. So we have to be real careful with what's happening here.
Wizard, you said?
Mm-hmm.
What did he look like?
I would describe him if I could.
You only saw a bit of him. He was wearing a red robe. Other than that, you didn't see him. The two that did would be Sam and Yen. Did Brock see him? No, that's right.
Nope. Yeah, Sam's kind of disconnected from this conversation, leaning back, arms crossed, just sort of like staring around the room, not paying attention to you guys. So
Okay. As mentioned, the other parties in the room, it appears to be an older lady, a group of tabaxi, a pair of merchant types, and the barkeep.
right.
And you're pretty perceptive, Sam, so you'd also notice that you can't seem to see where Blackguard is. It doesn't look like he's right outside anymore.
All right.
How secluded are we from other people at this
Probably
table?
about 15 feet away from the old lady, and probably about 20 or so feet away from the other table with the backseat. A few open tables besides, but that's the farthest distance you could kind of get away from everyone. And you assume staying closer to the older lady would probably be less treacherous
Okay.
than a bunch of cat folk.
And I'm fairly confident that speaking in hushed tones, we can kind of stay private beyond magical means being used to listen in on.
Certainly.
Okay, so through Sam's kind of shutting off to the world, I just sort of lean in, look at Sam, him staring off into whatever. Sam, like I said, this is the worst possible scenario for you. But might I suggest you try and make the best of it? My suggestion is, of course you will not trust the Night Sharks. They are your gang's enemy. But by possibly getting in on them, hopefully you do not derail our grander plans, but you might be able to get valuable intel for the idealists and maybe get back in their good graces. You don't have to like it, but if you can at least be more agreeable to the situation,
One more
we
temptation.
might be able to help you.
One more temptation. That mutton smells fucking good. And Broxgar's just mean mawing it, looking at your plate like. You can just tell by the look in his eyes. You gonna eat that?
Yeah. Sam's not making any move or any response to any of this.
Okay.
Just kind of
Understood,
Yen Lauren,
and that is okay.
aware
It
of
was it was just a few days ago that I shot at you, Sam. So now look at us here having breakfast together. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and Lauren gets how important it is to do what we're trying to do, right? I mean, you're not that cynical. Maybe.
I understand.
As you're saying, I mean, as you're kind of, listening to the conversation with Sam, Yen, it's kind of hard for you to focus for a couple of reasons. You do recognize the old lady from being there last night when all the shit went south. And yet she's still here the next morning, even after that crazy shit happened. And then you've got this group of tabaxi who you've never seen before. But they're definitely very noticeable, and you're pretty sure if you saw this gang of tabaxi again, you'd recognize them. They look like a pretty cool group of cats. Cool cats, if you will. Just hanging out.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm just going to go now. I'm done. Good session,
like
guys. Gain 1 million experience for surviving that pun. No,
I don't know if I did.
I'm writing that one down.
I don't know
Go
if
sweet
I
talk
did.
that old lady, Zach. Go sweet talk that old lady.
Do as you please, Zach. You good, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. Fair enough. Violette's already trying to negotiate with Sam. Broxcar?
Yeah, so where's the guy with no head?
Oh, God.
The barkeep kind of looks to you. He's not in. He's somewhere safe.
Well, that asshole bugbear woke me up this morning and told me he was gonna meet me here. Now I'm here.
Do you mean Blackguard?
Yeah.
He just does what he's told. Yep.
So I'm assuming breakfast is on the house then.
Yeah. Sure.
Damn right, I'll have another.
All right. Starts cooking in the back.
Be our chief negotiator, Joe.
Or at least primary.
Have some backups to be sure. But
Might not be the most effective in all circumstances and situations.
contingency is the name of the game.
John, what time of day? Is it like what, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock right now?
Yeah, it's like 8-ish. Fuck
Okay.
early.
I get up from the table, and do we get this? You said that it doesn't look like Blaggert's still outside, or at least we can't see him.
Yeah, that's right.
I just walk to the door and see if I notice if he might just be lurking around outside. Obvious. Like,
Yeah, even if you rolled a natural 20, you would note that he's not there. You don't know where he went.
okay. All right.
Detective, is there anything that you want to ask about this situation?
Oh,
Yeah, I
you know
want
what
to talk to the old lady. I mean, she's
sorry.
begging to be talked to.
Okay, hold on a second. Yen, what were you saying?
I need to recast Find Familiar.
Okay. Are you casting any other spells being cast while you guys are sitting at the table?
Villette, you want to cast a spell on... Sam on Villette?
Well, I did earlier.
Okay.
Back when I thought we started off in the same place. Then I remember the whole fact that I was trying to run away from you, a-holes.
Oh, no. I knew we weren't in the same place. I just didn't think that necessarily this was the way that things were going to go. So,
Right.
Sam is a very
You gotta try something.
moody person.
After all,
Petulant.
it's on the night shark.
Second plate is brought out to you.
Can I...
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Just going to ritually cast Detect Magic
Okay.
while we're sitting here.
Yeah, the only things that are glowing are the things that you're kind of already familiar with. The Esper edges, and I think that's it magic-wise.
Gotcha.
No, you would notice that the gentleman at the bar who just handed out the plate, who's kind of walking back, he has like an apron that seems to have a magical enchantment about it. Very quick scrutiny, you realize that the enchantment is very simple, very similar in kind to the spell Prestidigitation, but just activatable. By putting one's hands into both of the pockets, it automatically cleans the apron.
Yeah, I
Nice.
figured it was some sort of like cleaning thing, probably. So you said that old lady's still in the corner.
She's not in the corner. She's just like a couple of paces from you. But yeah, she's got a sizable amount of beverages she's worked on or is working on.
Okay, so here's a question: can I actually like pull off some sort of a spell without too many people noticing right now?
You've been casting spells like you just ritually cast detect magic in the room, and other people have not cared. Basically, the Tabaxi heard you chanting and kind of looked over their shoulders like this, and they were like, and got back to their shit. And then the old lady doesn't seem to fucking know where she is. And the barman is very intent on making sure Broxcar has enough mutton.
All right, I'm gonna cast detect thoughts on the old lady.
Okay. It's murky at the top level if you're not delving too far in. It's just real murky. But you get this sense that she's kind of recalling some things. She remembers, and you're kind of getting this very faint image of a man in a suit, a pretty wealthy-looking suit, but you're not really getting much of the face or anything. And she keeps kind of thinking about the words that are coming out of his mouth, and her surface thoughts appears to be right where she's thinking about. The words he's saying don't seem to be translating in the detect thoughts path. And you're pretty sure the reason why that is the words that are that were spoken to her in her memory were very big words that she doesn't know.
All right, I'm gonna actually try to press it a little bit further.
Okay. She butchers that saving throw. What would you like to know off the top? What is she thinking about? What that is about, or anything in particular that you're wanting to?
Currently, I want to sort of see. I forget. Can I only see one thing? Hold on a second. I'm going to actually just press the spell thing because I need to just double check something with it.
It's okay. So its reasoning at current is I want to drink more. I really want to drink all of the drinks because I'm still sad after my husband died from being worked too hard out at the docks. Her emotional state is currently lukewarm. You're pretty sure she's on the ride up to happy but drunken happy. And earlier she was confused. So it's like you're in this middle state between confused and almost there. The thing that's looming largest in her mind is this guy in this nice suit who was talking to her this morning.
All right, but I can't really glean anything more from the larger.
Yeah, it's
guy.
The guy is from what you can tell, you can kind of see facial features, but they're not precise. It's a memory. He appears to be Seiryu, so from the east. He was hanging around talking to her, and it seems like he was asking questions specifically about you guys. Gilbert first, and then everyone else out from that. And she didn't know much, and it was this morning, you think, based on the way the light is in the memory.
Good to know.
And the guy is super finely dressed, by the way. Really nicely dressed.
Do I get an approximate height of the guy?
5'6".
Okay.
About 5'6". Yep.
Not moving at all. I'm just sort of say sort of quietly to the people around the table that seems like people are interested in you.
Well, Gilbert's not there. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying this to the the table in general,
Mhm.
like not to anyone in specific.
So basically, in order of importance in the questions that she was asked, it would have been Gilbert, Ren, you, Valette, and Lauren Broxgar.
Beat you by one, bitch.
He's not there. That's why I said his name. Also, Broxgar is like
one.
stealth emotion man.
No one was asking about Valette.
Oh no, yeah, she was in there, but she was less important than you, more important than Yen.
Sorry, Gilbert was. Or sorry, order was Gilbert,
Gilbert?
Ren, me.
Gilbert, Ren, you, Valette, again Lauren, Broxgar.
Okay, that was Valette. All right, I missed where Valette was.
It's okay.
All right,
But that's who he was asking
I'm
about.
sticking to my original statement of seem interesting. While I'm just sort of like staring off
You said
slightly
you
into space at the woman.
whispered that, right?
Sort of like say that quietly to the table.
Okay. You see the old
Can you
lady
repeat?
kind of look at you as you're looking at her, and then she looks back at her drink.
Yeah, I don't think she cares too much.
What were you saying, Tim?
Oh, just I missed what he was saying to the what he said to the table.
Yeah, I just messaged it to you.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Anybody have anything else they want to do in here?
No, we're on our way to go fuck with the building
Somebody-
at that place in the
somebody.
corner, right?
Warehouse, something.
Yeah. He said be there by noon, and like I said a while ago, it's about 8 in the morning. It's not too late.
So we have like 4 hours to kill.
About right.
What you're trying to say?
Basically. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Just anything at all? Prod.
Nope, don't really have any questions. Look over at Yen Lauren, just sort of be like, so, wonder where Winston is. And just sort of like get up and start heading towards the door.
Okay. As you start to head towards the door, you hear kind of a screeching sound, and then the sound of an automotive, and you see this car pull up, and it's familiar, this auto carriage. Very familiar. You've seen it before, Sam. Hell, I think you've ridden in it. This appears to be Ren's auto carriage. You see the door open,
Really?
and popping off of stilts and then hopping onto the cobblestone is a red-headed gnome girl who kind of runs around and looks at you, Sam, just for a moment. You met her, right, Sam? No, I think...
don't
yeah,
think I did, no.
You guys, two ships in the dark.
Yep.
She kind of marches past you and kind of looks to Ren and says, "Hey, boss!"
Hey, Effie, what are you doing here?
Oh, had an interesting couple of days. How about you?
It's also been interesting. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Doing all right. Your friend's horse is in the back seat. If he needs that, I took a look at it. Doesn't look like there's much I can modify. Pretty well built, I'd say. She smiles, and then kind of looks to Valette and says, "But I really suggest you, maybe to something you've never done before, or something that you don't use very often. You get what I'm saying?" The conglomerate was seeking to impound this, but luckily I've got some sway, thanks to you, in the third precinct, and I was able to get this out of impound. Luckily they didn't do too much to it. Nothing at all, really. And, I believe they're focusing their attention down here in Bearport, so if you're going to move around, down this way, I'd be very cautious.
Is it okay to drive, you think?
Yeah, it's your car. Do what you like. They're not looking after you, though, boss. I explained to law enforcement, and they made sure that it got to the conglomerate, that you were assaulted by the renegade enforcer that was located at our establishment. And I made sure to let them know that if I saw the enforcer, looks over to Valette, I'd let them know exactly where he was. Or, she was. And she seems a bit confused because remember, she's known you most as Pockets.
Yeah, Jimmy Blades.
Yeah. Or, sorry, yeah. Blades.
Jimmy Boy.
It's Pockets.
Jimmy Pockets.
With Pocket's voice.
And says, yeah, you might want to change that, and the vehicle should be fine. Just so long as you're not spotted with the renegade enforcer, you should be good. I'm gonna head out of here. I've got a trolley to catch. I'll keep working in the office. You haven't gotten any new messages, boss, but if any new ones come in, where are you staying?
Do we have a place where we're staying?
Gilbert's.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, Gilbert's, right.
Okay.
So I'll give the address for Gilbert's.
She pulls out a ledger, kind of quickly writes down the. She's always taking notes, and you can see that her notebook is just covered with sketches. But very quickly writes the address down, shuts her book, puts her charcoal in her book away, and says, "Okay, boss, I'll work as long as the pay's still coming. And if I remember correctly, you got about 2 more 6 days in the account. So if you refill it by the time it's out, I'll keep working." And she heads out.
Okay, I was gonna offer her a bonus, but I guess not now.
Yeah, well, you've got money in the bank paying her out, so okay. Then what happens?
Awesome.
With that, I go and ask the barkeep if there's a room where I might freshen up.
Well, we got some inn rooms. We can rent one out to you at an hour rate. It's 5 copper.
To simplify things, I just agree to it.
Okay.
I'll only need it for about 10 minutes, but that'll do. And I slide him the coin.
Okay.
And people see me disappear upstairs.
All right. Anybody else got anything they want to do?
Yeah. While we're just hanging out here killing time, Andy, Ren, I met someone the other day. Someone that we might be interested in making friends with.
Who's that?
For keeping my voice low, I'll say that she's a smuggler here in town. She needs a favor from us, and that is to use an auto carriage in order to smuggle a few people undetected by the conglomerate into Spellmoth. In return, I think that she could help us by, helping us move undetected throughout the city. These guys, they have eyes everywhere. Obviously, they probably know already that we're staying at Gilbert's, and I think it would be wise to make allies with her so that we could learn how to maybe move a little bit more stealthily.
Can't have too many friends. And so, out of character, this is the Dread Pirate Lena.
In a brief, the redheaded 16-year-old.
Nice.
All right. Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to do?
As I said, I'm looking for my guys, my crew, my hombres.
They wouldn't be here, would they? This is Night Shark territory.
That's right.
No, I walked out the door.
Okay. Yeah, you can head off wherever you like.
I was going to walk through Ren's
Are we gonna take the car though?
I'm gonna take the car.
You gonna drive the car?
Yeah, the keys were given to Ren, so he does have the auto carriage keys.
Well,
Sam's
can
walking
he
off on his own.
legally drive the car?
Yes, I can legally drive the car now, right?
Yeah.
Didn't I arrange that?
You can legally drive the car. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
legally,
don't remember if we'd arranged that or not.
I don't think
ride
he-
in the car with
I don't think he can physically drive it though. That's the key issue is the capability. But Sam, are you still going? Even though it sounds like I mean, you can wander off on your own if you want. I'm not stopping you.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, my plan was to start walking to Ren's office, so...
That's
So
a
I have
hell
a
of a
question.
walk.
Why wouldn't you wait for the car?
Because he's a pain in the
I mean-
ass. That's why.
Well, no. I'm thinking it through. Like, I've only seen the car once, and I have no idea who Effie is, so... I'm wondering if I'd even actually know that it was actually Ren's car.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, I'm not sure if Sam would know that it's Ren's car, actually.
You would. I mean, you saw me pull up in it with Villette when we
Right.
did the
No,
job.
that's true. That's true.
First thing you saw,
Explosives.
first interaction with us was me driving that car up to meet you. Like, it's well established that that is our vehicle, in your mind.
And
Or else
apparently
you
they
could
haven't
just-
known.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, this is not the second
it's
time.
not necessarily like everything's a Model T on the road.
Oh, no. Yeah, basically every single auto carriage to this point is absolutely different because they're unique. They are built by a inventor and
Okay.
they're sold. So the one that you have now, that one was probably bought from like bits and parts of ones that didn't work, and Effie is the one who actually made it the thing that it does.
Right.
Bespoke.
Okay, see, that I was
Different.
a little confused
Yeah.
on that. I was imagining they were all very similar looking cars, which is why I'm like, well, how would Sam actually know, like, this particular one is...
Exactly. That's a solid point. But yeah, the point is, yeah, and they're not all Model Ts. They're very, very different.
Okay.
Would Villette's horse be able to pull the carriage? Pull the auto carriage?
The auto carriage drives. I mean, it's got fuel in it.
I know, but if we have trouble driving it,
I
then Laura
can drive
be
it.
there, right?
I can drive it. Let me drive it.
All right. Are you in a state to drive it, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, not now. I mean, in game, yes. My
In real life, I'm
Lauren
not.
is.
Yeah, I shouldn't drive for
All right, yeah, Lauren,
3
you're
or
doing
4
it.
hours.
Yes.
Sam,
do
you
it.
stay?
Okay, yeah, I probably would at that point, just because...
Okay.
I'm still thinking, like, I'm going to do that, but I'm guessing these guys will
Ren,
probably head in a direction that's useful.
Effie's pretty slick. When she came over and gave you the keys, you did also notice that she slipped something on the table and kind of set it underneath your plate, and very quickly did so that no one else would see. But you're pretty sure everyone at the table besides you saw it, but no one else outside of the table would have seen. The first is a small leather kind of flap, like a wallet, and inside is a valid license for driving, which you hadn't received the full copy yet, and there it is. The second thing that she, set down appears to be kind of a small little ledger, and you would recognize this as a drop list. So when the Mardigans expect something from you, or from anybody, they'll give someone a drop list. And this only has one marker on the list, and it seems to be the rogue slang for communication or connection. Basically, someone you know in the Mardigan family is requesting some sort of contact. Based on the way the hand is written, you're assuming it's Tybalt. Okay.
Great.
That's a
Okay.
shit ton of ingredients, I think.
Oh yeah.
Get to work. What are we doing?
Would we have time to get to Mardigan territory to talk to Tybalt before our noon deadline for getting to the warehouse?
In a vehicle, you're pretty sure you could get to the Fallen Garter in about 40 minutes if someone is capable and able to drive pretty well on the main thoroughfares, about 45 minutes. That means you'd have about 3 hours and 15 minutes to get back where you need to go. And the location of the warehouse is literally maybe 15-minute walk from where you currently are towards the shore. So in a vehicle, it doesn't really change much on the time in that regard. So yes, sort of.
Okay. So out of character, would it make sense to talk to Tybalt before we do this, or should we, just do the Night Shark errand and then see him afterwards?
Think it'll take 2 hours or less.
Then do it. Go see
Yeah, why
Tybalt.
not? Yeah.
Okay.
Because he might provide. Granted, it might add a layer of complication, but on the other side, it might also give you information that basically ways we can start working all 3 tribes to come together somehow. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know.
One other thing you would note, and sorry to throw a wrench in your cogs, Mardigans, aren't really morning people. So if you're going to go talk to Tybalt, you're probably not going to go talk to him until after 3.
Okay, never mind that. Do
Now-
we know what the relationship is between the Idealists and the Mardigans? In other words, would Sam be really unhappy doing?
So Idealists and Mardigans also share a border. Basically, it kind of like Night Shark territory is set in between Idealist territory, right? And then north of the Mardigan territory north of the Night Shark territory is Mardigan territory, and it'd be east of the Idealist territory in Spellmoth, and north of Idealist territory in Old Rostagar. They don't have a lot of back and forth. There isn't much exchange. Idealists aren't really focused on encroaching on Mardigan territory because Idealists aren't stupid, and they don't like the Night Sharks that have those back and forths with the Night Sharks because, according to them, they are stupid. And the Idealists favor more than anything knowledge and arcane intellect. Whereas the Mardigans are literally the oldest gang in this entire city, and the Idealists know better. A lot of the mannerisms of the Idealists are copycatted from the Mardigan family. They are literally the big cheese.
Okay, so I don't think we could do that in time and meet our deadline to get to the warehouse. So, one option is to go there early and sort of case things to see what we can see before the 12 o'clock hour.
I wasn't even equating the cook time and also the eat time, but you guys arrived at the place at about 8. It would actually be closer to 9 in the morning.
How long would it take us to get to Ren's office? To go check out, see if Sam's fucking people are there?
Yeah, if you roll in the whip, it would take... Oh, honestly, though, Sam, if you didn't dip out and you saw the car and kind of lean back in, let's go back and rewind Sans' time style. You hear Effie say that she talked to the conglomerate.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I didn't go outside. I was back inside. I was just waiting.
Oh, okay.
I figured, okay, they'll come out.
Gotcha,
So I'm
gotcha.
just waiting outside.
All right, well, we
for
won't
a
Sans'
couple
time.
of minutes.
That's fine. But yeah, so you're concerned about your guys that did go, or Winston specifically. Yeah, I was going to settle that real easy. But, okay, yeah, it would take you 30 minutes, if that, to get to Ren's office. It's literally right up the thoroughfare. Maybe 20 minutes in the auto carriage. So, yeah, not a lot of time at all.
Ren is going to suggest to you and Lauren that the two of them case out the warehouse since it's so close and then report back. Thoughts?
Okay. If the Sam's okay with us he's been talking about needing to go and check on his peeps. And I thought we had enough time if it's only half an hour away. That gets us, if it's 9 o'clock now, 9:30 to check the office. They're not there. Or they are there.
Villette can drive the auto carriage?
I can.
I know, but Villette can too, right?
Oh, can you?
Not trained in land vehicles.
Oh, never mind. I thought you could drive.
Okay, that's fine. We could do that too.
Is that the plan?
Yeah, unless Sam doesn't care anymore. Man, speak up, bro.
Oh, no. Sam still wants to, I'm not expecting them to be there. I'm just wondering if, Winston was smart enough to actually leave a message or a note or something there, or some indication as to what might have, where he might be. I'm not expecting to be there.
Okay. Then yeah, let's drive over. Unless someone has a,
I'm not expecting that much, but
because that's pretty much we have time to like check the office, look around real quick, and then dip back and still have enough time to case the place before noon.
Okay.
Okay. You guys get into the auto carriage. Everybody going?
yeah.
So 10 minutes has passed?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Alright. Vlight comes down the stairs with a hodgepodge of her outfits to, I don't know, look nice. And she basically looks like, we'll say, half-elf version of Effie.
Okay. Makes sense.
Effie told me to look like someone else? Alright then.
A really tall Effie. Got it. Okay.
Man, creepy.
Okay. So you guys get into the auto carriage and head over to Ren's office. Ren, you pull up, or you guys pull up. Ren, you can see that the office seems to be in, working order. It does look like the front door does have some damage to it, but it looks like there's been some repairs applied. And you enter in. You see that sitting at your desk, not in your chair, but like across from your chair, is a Goliath. Kind of just sitting there with his arms crossed, kind of looks over his shoulder. Oh, hey. And you can hear the telltale sounds of Effie in the back, kind of, working at stuff. And that goes dead silent the second the doorbell rings. Basically, when you enter in, it hits a bell, ting ting, alerting that someone's entered in. She comes around the corner and says, "Oh, hey, boss. What's up?"
We're just here to check on Sam's associates.
Sam, you can step in, and you would see that Winston is sitting in a chair, looking over, and he goes, "Oh, hey, boss."
Ah, Winston. Fuck have you been for the past couple of days?
I've been right around here. Effie kind of goes,
What happened to the other?
"Yeah, he's just been hanging around. You know him?"
Yeah, this is Winston.
"Yeah, I know. He told me his name." He goes, "I told her my name, boss. The others got the fuck out of here when that light from the sky came down. They said it was conglomerate, and I said this is where the boss said to meet. This is where we're gonna stay, and I've been here ever since. So, what's the next job?"
Winston, thank fuck that you're an idiot.
"Yeah, sure, why not? Do you want me to go check on the others, or do you want me to come with you? Is there enough room in that thing?" Kind of looks over your shoulder as he gets up. There isn't.
I'm not sure there's enough room for you, Winston, but yeah, it might not be a bad idea to see what happened with the others. Did you find out? Did the shipment go all right?
You hear Effie in the back kind of say, "Well, he can stay here. He's been pretty helpful." Winston kind of looks at you. "I have been pretty helpful, boss. And yeah, shipment went good. From what I heard, they got a lot of the kind of does one of these eye raggles materials under the and out of character. I haven't given you too much details on the plan, but you understand what he's saying is that the plan is going according to plan."
Right. Right. Well, and I just sort of like motion Winston over to like a corner where we can talk in private. You know, like, listen, Winston, I've got mixed up in some strange shit with these people. I think I need to like see it through. I feel like, if I'm not around, they're gonna get like fucked over by the conglomerate. And I think that they want to like try to. Their plans are slightly aligned with ours, just in a really fucked up way.
"Hey, boss.
So I think like,
if you trust him, then that's fine. I do want to let you know." He kind of reaches into his pocket, and you hear a clattering of metal, and he pulls out a device, which you know is a communication device. Actually, one of the communication devices that Petra had on him. And you know Winston had one as well, and he hands you the communication device, and he says, "Peter left this behind, and said he doesn't really want to deal with your shit anymore after he saw what happened the night when we came out here to meet with you. He says that you're trying to get him caught, but I still trust in you, boss." And kind of looks over to Roxgar. And I think you found a pretty good group of people here in them. So if you need me for anything, you give me a call, and I'll be there as soon as I can.
Great, will do, Winston. But yeah, just you know, if you need to, check in with the others. But like, if you feel useful here, you can stay here, I guess. If there's nothing else for you. But,
Effie smiles. Yeah, stay here. Help me reach some of the things I can't reach. Thanks. Alright. And then?
Okay. Then we're heading to go case the warehouse out, I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's mostly rainy in the port side. When you got into Spellmoth, it's still a bit drizzly, but it's not like rain. When you guys head back into Bearport, the weather's definitely picked up, and it's raining a bit more heavily. I need Yenloren to go ahead and make a vehicle slam check with dexterity.
I am new to driving, so I'm casting guidance on myself.
That's fine.
Cool.
Driving slow,
So what do you
grandma
want?
slow. So it'll be a dexterity and proficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're boss moding it.
Okay.
You cast guidance
Goddamn
once,
driver.
and you kind of hear this just subtle whisper. You don't know from where. That says, "You got this," and then you're just like, "Yeah, I do," and you drive right to where you need to go. How far away do you want to park? Because the area that's around it, as you're kind of moving towards it, it's just a bunch of derelict warehouses that look like they're decrepit and kind of falling apart. Some of them are standing pretty high, like 5 or 6 stories. But it looks like the area that you're heading to, we're talking about 2 to 4 story warehouses.
John.
Yep.
Also, at this point, Sam's just going to like take a minute to turn on his mage armor device.
Teslaing up. Okay.
Because, yeah, I needed the prep slot for mage armor for something else.
Gotcha. So how far away do you want to park? Do you want to hoof it to the location? What's your plan?
Upon getting out of the car,
Is that the plan?
I plan on getting out of the car once we park.
Okay. So back to the
That's what
driver.
most people do.
So back to the driver. Are you parking close to the warehouse that you were told to go to? Are you parking far away and hoofing it towards it? What's the plan?
I need
Go
input.
too close.
Okay. There we go. So
it's
I
like-
guess I'm parking away.
If you've ever driven with your wife and you're like, okay, where are we going to eat? And it's like, no, you decide. No, you. And you're like, oh, just pick a place.
No, it's even worse because it's like, where do you want to go to eat? I don't fucking know. You decide. No, you decide. All right, fine. Let's go here.
I don't like this place.
Go there.
Yeah,
Can you pick somewhere else? Oh my god, I'm killing you.
I love my wife. Anyway,
So not close enough. We want to case the joint, and so we don't want to be seen.
okay, so you're gonna park somewhere a ways, but you're not gonna really get out of the vehicle to case it or park.
I think we need to. Yeah, I think we need to
We're
get
not-
out, and the stealthy among us need to sort of approach.
Okay, so tell me who stays in the car and who gets out to go check it out.
So if I know, wouldn't that be sort of Yen Lauren and Ren would be the stealthiest, or I don't know who has high decks otherwise.
I think Sam's pretty stealthy. I think Villette is pretty stealthy.
Is Valette?
Normally, but I mean, I'm trained in stealth and I have a 14 dex.
But
Yeah.
But I have heavy armor on right now.
No, we're not going to do that. How about you, Brox?
I'm alright at it, average.
Why don't we have Valette and Brock stay with the car, and the other two will come with Ren to sort of check things.
Okay.
I'm not trained in stealth. You know that, right?
You're not trained in stealth. Okay, hold
Nah,
on.
I have a 16. I have a +3.
Oh,
I also have
that's
a
good.
+3.
So
Yeah.
we could do groups. I have proficiency, so we have the group stealth thing.
Wait,
skill
did you
check.
increase your dex at 4th level?
Nah, dude, I rolled like a boss.
No, I know, but your stats, as I recall them, are 10, 15, 10, 16, 16. 20.
Yes, because I took Prodigy, so you increase one
Oh.
ability score of your
See.
choice by 1 to a maximum of 20. So I
asked
did
you if
increase
you
my dex.
I asked you if you increased it. Okay, I'll change that for the next.
I told you I took Prodigy.
I know. I asked you if you increased your dex just now, though. You said
I'm
no.
sorry.
was like,
I forgot that I did by 1.
It's okay.
Until you were challenging me, and then I
No, I was just
justify myself.
trying to
So-
get the math.
Yeah, let's use the group stealth.
Okay, so yeah, Ren, it seems like you're the stealthiest. Yen is kind of stealthy, but not super. And Sam, you haven't seen him be stealthy.
No, I was pretty damn stealthy at that one thing. It's
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
super stupid high. I'm in the same boat as Yen Lauren. I've got a plus.
So it's your call. Do you want to take anybody, or do you want to go by yourself?
I'll take them.
Okay. Everyone make a stealth check that's on the outside.
And
You get +1 to your roll.
s-
6
Fucking Matt.
+1.
Fucking Matt.
Okay.
Hey, you made me waste my good roll.
Look at my roll. Look at Zach's roll.
So, Sam is a bit kind of noisier, asking questions, but Ren is very quick to kind of silence him and kind of give him one of these and kind of move in a direction. You find a pretty much derelict and absolutely burnt out warehouse across the street from 214. And from what you can tell, 214, it looks like a mess, but it looks like it's sturdy and could probably be like squatted in. It looks like the paint marker, big white paint numbers across the top of the door, 214, are kind of still present, but looks like they're faded, probably from sunlight. And yeah, looks like a mess. You just want to sit here and kind of just check it out. There's really no visible ports into the place. Looks like all of the windows are higher up and boarded out.
Are there any tracks, any signs?
Oh man, are they completely boarded out?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Man, even if I took my flying bird all the way around the building to
If the
check.
bird goes around the building, what it'll actually find is there are portions of the roof that are broken out.
Great, I want to word that shit. Show me what I see.
Yeah, it's pretty much empty inside, and it looks like a lot of the floor is kind of torn up. There appears to be 2 levels, each 20 feet high, so 4 stories. On the second level, all there is just a ring around the exterior wall, like a balcony, effectively, on that second level that kind of stands over the main warehouse portion. This place looks like it's been dug in. It's like a pretty decently sized hole in the middle, but that doesn't go anywhere. It's just like a crater, really, that's been dug out. And a lot of the stone work here looks like it's broken and battered. Go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, I was gonna say, could I talk to him while he's working?
No, he can't hear you while he's in.
Okay. Out of character, it seems like a fighting pit.
Yeah, possibly.
I can talk though while I'm
Yes,
in that, right?
you
So
can.
I'm like just describing all of this as I'm seeing what I'm seeing.
You just can't hear his sick, witty retort.
It might be a trap.
As that's being investigated, Ren, no check necessary. Sam, no check necessary. You see a gentleman kind of walking over to the door, just kind of from nowhere. And he kind of walks over to the door, kind of looks over his shoulder, and opens the door. He looks like an older man, possibly in his late 40s. Graying hair, just kind of grizzled. Looks like he's seen some shit. But he's a bit overweight, and it looks like he's definitely outside of his prime. you're pretty keen-eyed, Ren, so you would notice that he does appear to have a pistol, a Landrick-style pistol, which would be kind of similar to what Joe packs. And it seems to be strapped to his right thigh. He enters into the place, closes the door behind him. This is somewhere around 11 o'clock.
What is he wearing?
Looks like he's wearing kind of leathers, leather armor. Looks like a reinforced leather leggings that are a bit baggy on him. And then he kind of has a poncho over him. The hood's drawn up as he goes in, but the second you see him get in, he kind of throws it back. And before the door closes, you notice that he apparently puts something in his mouth and lights it as he shuts the door. Possibly a cigarette.
Ren would turn to Yenlord and say, I know it's early, but if we talk to him now, we might get a better sense of what's happening.
Unable to pay attention to Ren, and his eyes kind of whiten from the still warging position, you see the man from a different vantage point, Yenlorin. You see him kind of walking into the shadows, kind of move towards the pit and take a seat so that his back is against a large pile of stone and dirt, so that if you were to walk in the door the same way he did, you wouldn't be able to see him.
And he just hides there?
Doesn't look like he's hiding because the smoke is kind of lifting up, but it looks like he's kind of sitting there, just looks like he's waiting for something.
How far off from time are we?
About an hour. Maybe 40 minutes.
Yeah, alright. I'll warg out of there and be like, just so you know, there is man who is in the building. I seen him.
Yeah, we saw him walk in.
You were talking to him, telling him about it, and he was like, what?
So the question is, do we sort of talk to him now before any others arrive to try to find out more, or do we wait?
I suppose is choice we make with rest of party. No?
Yeah, good point. So maybe
Back
we
to the
can
car?
go back. What's that?
Back to the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Describe what we saw.
Alright.
So, when they left the car, I got out, popped the trunk, and started assembling my horse, just in case.
Okay. Yeah, he was actually in the backseat, but yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay.
When we get back to the car, I'm casting
Okay.
that, and just since I've got 10 of them, I'm giving one to each person, keeping the main bulk for myself.
Okay. And just so you're aware,
That's an emergency item.
perfect. Just so you're aware, so Goodberry, it is technically now a series of 10 objects, and to use an object, you have to use the use an object action. So most people will use an object to eat it or force feed it to someone as an action. Rogues can do so as a bonus action. So just a heads up.
Oh, wait, hold on.
These rogues are awesome.
I can't hear you, Matt.
Sorry, I needed to go and get my tea. The other thing actually is if Yen Lauren's familiar is around, I'm going to actually give one of the. I don't know. Can how much can your familiar carry? Because I'm thinking of giving him a berry or two in case.
He can hold berries, but it's going to inhibit his ability to land unless he puts it in his beak.
So probably one.
One, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
He'd
yeah,
comfortably
it can be
carry
like-
one good berry.
It can be a delivery system in case no one's
Yep.
nearby.
That works. Okay. And then you guys are waiting till the marker, or are you heading in now?
We haven't decided. What do others think?
It's fine.
Either
I mean,
way.
I say we're here. It didn't say do not show up too early. He said do not talk. Say yes, no. And you know, if you say do not show up early, we stand outside for fucking 4 minutes. But this seems silly.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go in.
I mean, he said show up at a specific time, and what if part of the reason what he's doing is trying to see how well you people listen?
What do you mean with this, you people?
What do I mean by you people? I mean people who like are, I don't know, not like us, like the people in gangs.
Racist.
Not particularly racist, just gangist. I'm just saying, like, if he says this is some sort of like test for like things working out, and you go and do something that like he doesn't want you necessarily to do. I mean, granted, he didn't say whether it was something he wanted you to do or not, but still, I'm just saying, like, what if he doesn't necessarily take a liking to this decision of getting there early? Not saying he wouldn't, I'm just saying, like, something to keep in mind.
Alright. Then, if no one has rebutted to InfoWars, we wait.
Are you guys waiting?
Sure, whatever. That's fine.
Okay. The water's pounding down on the car. You can see it bouncing off of the cracked cobblestones in front of you as it comes down heavier. Obviously, one good reason as to why you should have gone inside now would have been to avoid all of that rain. But it's coming down heavier and heavier as you sit. Time seems to roll around to it. Yeah, there seems to be a battered and rusty door near what appears to be kind of like a large like carriage port, like where you would pull supplies out and in. And it seems to provide access to the interior of the building. It is indeed the same door that the man you saw go in. Who's the lead? Going in first.
Does it look like my horse can fit through the door?
No, it does not.
Okay. Then I would get off the horse and just tell it to come kick on the door if it sees someone approaching.
Okay. All right. Who's the lead?
And I'll take the lead. I don't care.
Okay. You enter
I
in.
use my sword in the sheath just in case trouble happens, but otherwise shield in the arm and sword at the ready to draw. But that's about it.
Okay. You enter in. It's dark. Dark as all get out. But the light that you do see seems to be coming in from holes in the ceiling, and you can also see the rain kind of coming down in the light as well. It's morning light, but it's gray because of the cloud coverage. As you kind of enter in, go ahead.
Would that help me keep the rain off of myself at least?
I think you can prestidigitation dry yourself, or
I don't have prestidigitation.
oh, you're not a wizard. You're right.
No, I am a wizard. I just don't have prestidigitation. I took.
Oh, yeah, shape water works. You could pull that off you. But yeah, you walk in, Valette, and dark as all get out. A figure steps out. The shadows from behind a grouping of rocks. In the gray morning light, you can see him pretty clearly. He's wearing rumpled leather armor and has a pistol strapped to his right thigh. Doesn't seem to be going for it or anything, just looks calm and collected as he steps out into the light. And his ugly face beneath his hood kind of twists into a dirty smile. He says, "Hi, I'm Wilbur."
Hello, Wilbur.
The voice.
How can I help you?
The main key, Ren, is the voice is not the voice from the communication device. He says, hey guys, don't you worry. Wilbur's on the job, and that means all is well, lads. I've been around. I know what's what. That's why they picked me to lead this mission. I'm on the ball. Smirks. I know what's going on.
And what mission might that be?
Oh yeah, the mission the Seiryu told us to be on. You know the one.
No, we don't.
Nah,
I do declare I do not.
it's too early to say. But you know the job. You wouldn't be here if you didn't know what job we were talking about. Yeah, come on in, get out of the rain. Let's talk it up. Smiles. Since we're going to be working together. Did I mention my name? I'm Wilbur. Have you heard of me? Smiles. His grin's
Yeah.
kind of, discolored.
You are the
Right.
one to get the job done.
His smile's a bit discolored. He reaches into his pack, kind of pulls out a single cigarette, puts it in his mouth, lights it with his tinderbox, and kind of puts that away, smiling. So, I've worked with a elf before. You guys are nimble as all get out. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, is these powder sticks for sharing?
Yeah, I got one for you. Hands you one.
I'm just going to lean over and whisper to him, like, be careful. The conglomerate sometimes puts, like, powder into the tobacco to make you more susceptible to, like, mind control.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm saying that to Yen Lauren, not to...
Oh, okay. He says, well, I've seen quite a few jobs. I've succeeded over 100, maybe 200 different missions. Quite the mercenary, if you haven't heard of Wilbur. Bearport Wilbur? You ever hear of him? No? You haven't ever heard of me? Yeah, I remember one time we did a job. Who's in the back of the group, like towards the door?
Probably me.
Well, you kind of leaned into Yen Lauren, who stepped forward. And Valette, you kind of stepped forward first. Brox, it's either Brox or Ren.
I'll be near the back, yeah.
Okay, make a wisdom perception check. You do not have advantage because it's not based on sight.
I got a 19.
Still good enough. You hear footfalls in the water outside. Sounds like someone's running up to the door. Not so much like running up to get there and like hurry up or rush anything. It sounds like someone's trying to avoid the rain.
John,
I'll be a gentleman and open the door.
Okay. You reach for the door handle and open it, and as you open it, you see a man kind of entering in, coming out of the light into the darkness where you're located. He kind of looks to you and he kind of gives you a look like, oh. The gentleman in question seems to be wearing very regal, very fine-looking suit underneath a heavy coat that's very similar in kind to Ren's long coat. He kind of tucks himself in to the building and kind of gives you a polite nod. He's a small fellow, not much taller than 5'6", from what you can tell in the shadows as he's entering, and he seems to be of Seiryu descent. He has a wide-brimmed hat on his head, and he kind of walks in and he says, ah, and everyone kind of sees him at this point. The door creaks, and Wilbur stops talking. And he goes, oh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad to see you all here. I also see that you have all met Wilbur. Good, good. The voice of this man, Ren, does appear to be similar to the man on the phone. However, there's a certain accent here that's slightly different, and just noticeably not the same person, but close. And as he kind of moves in, he removes his hat, starts to unbutton his coat, kind of sets his hat into, kind of folds it and sets into his pocket, kind of steps in into the light near Wilbur, kind of smiling, but he leans forward to Broxgar before he passes him by and offers his hand to a shake.
I'll shake his hand.
He shakes your hand vigorously. A lot of energy in his handshake and a bit of strength to him. Not like unnaturally so, nothing more than you'd expect from the man, but, he definitely has a lot of energy to the shake. He takes it very serious. He'll move to the next person before he gets over to Wilbur, offering a handshake to everyone in kind. Just let me know if you accept or if you don't.
I curtsy.
Okay. He kind of gives you a, like this, just as he's getting his hat, removing his hat, gives you a milady.
I give a limp fish handshake.
Basically, you're accosted by his handshaking. He just, oh yeah, he's got your hand, and you just go along for the ride. Yeah, Lauren, handshake, no?
I imagine on the opposite, like old country, strong arm.
Yes.
We got this.
Yeah, you guys have a very solid shake, and you guys kind of both look at each other in the eyes and kind of, there's something there. There's a bit of a spark. You don't know what it is yet. Maybe it'll develop to something. Ren, how about you?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, he shakes your hand very thoroughly. Probably lifts you up off the ground because you're just 8-strength elf man. but yeah, after
Sure.
kind of giving you all a hearty handshake, and he's just got a smile on his face the whole time. Just very considerate fellow. Kind of says, "Okay, good. Yeah, so you've all met, and this is Wilbur, undoubtedly the best man alive for the task at hand. Isn't that right, Wilbur?" Ren, you immediately recognize there's something wrong about the way he just said that. Like, you just kind of, wait.
So it's cutting?
You're like, he's not though. And then you realize, oh, he's saying he's not though. He's being sarcastic. But Wilbur doesn't seem to pick up on it and kind of goes, yeah, I am the best guy. Smoking like the dregs of his cigarette, tosses it away. And he's got this dirty smile on his face as the mysterious man kind of puts his arm around Wilbur and kind of gives him a pat on the back. Yeah. Well, as you will have guessed, this is merely a meeting point. My employer waits not far from here. If you will all follow me. And he kind of gestures with Wilbur towards the door and seems to kind of take the lead from you guys. But he has Wilbur kind of ahead, like on his arm, kind of walking that way. It seems like they're having a little bit of banter, but about nothing really. Mostly Wilbur saying a lot of the things he's already talked about. And go ahead.
I was going to say, like, what necessarily do I know about Seiryu?
There aren't really many conspiracies about Seiryu, but if you want to roll an intelligence history check, which is more gang related. So I'll say you have advantage for it.
Rolling shit. Okay, 24 then.
Okay, so you know there's
either 1 or 24. So
you know there's a rival gang in the area. It deals mostly in the eastern coast region, across the bridge. And also, it does hail from the lands to the east, the lands of the Blue Dragon, these Seiryu lands. That group is known as the Shinoyoro Kengo, or just the Kengo for short. And basically, the Kengo is led by a group of mafioso-type bosses that are known as the Blades. There are a total of 12 of these Blades in the Kengo, and they kind of rule very much like... They're a lot like the Yakuza in real life. They're very thorough and they're very precise. There's an honor to their system and their code, and they'll deal with anybody. They'll trade, they'll market, they'll do whatever they can. But there's always an edge to their everything. This man, just the way he's dressed and the way he's kind of just personable, makes you think. Maybe he's a Kengo man. Maybe he's a member of that gang. And also, this is kind of gang-related stuff, so who knows? And you don't know if the Night Sharks are associated with the Kengo or not. Maybe that's a connection.
Okay. Also, he's wearing a really nice suit, you said, right?
Really nice, yeah.
Does he seem vaguely familiar to me? Might have seen...
Oh, yeah, yep. That is the very same guy. You're pretty sure that the person who was asking about you is this guy here. Yep. And he leads Wilbur out the door, kind of lets Wilbur take the lead out the door. As Wilbur steps out into the rain, you see a very sudden blur of motion as the Seiryu reaches into his pocket, pulls something out, and moves his hand upwards. The next thing you see is the Seiryu kind of tips his head down and pulls his hat out and sets it on top of his head. When he does this, you can see that there's a dagger in the back of Wilbur's head, and Wilbur falls into the street, into the rain.
What?
The man kind of steps out into the rain, and over his shoulder to you guys, depending on whether you advance or not, says, "My apologies. Wilbur was asked to come on a different matter, and will not be joining you and us for this mission." He steps over the body, almost like not even concerned. Doesn't even reach down to pick up the dagger that he threw into the back of the guy's head, and just strides forward into the ever-pounding rain, refastening his coat and kind of settling himself in against the rain.
Really quickly, does it look like Wilbur has anything interesting?
The gun. He has the gun. The dagger in the back of his head, his coin purse, and his satchel, which you know has at least a few cigarettes in it.
I am going to grab the gun and the money purse and leave the satchel.
Okay. Anybody else?
Does the dagger look any interesting at all?
It looks very interesting. Ren, make an intelligence history check. Also gang related. So I'll say you have advantage.
Nice. 17.
It is what is known as an Iguchi, which is a Seiryu style dagger.
Okay. So what is this Seiryu style dagger?
It's a very finely crafted blade. Very, very finely crafted blade. And as you kind of look down at it, you notice that the hilt seems to have been hollowed out. And it looks like there's a small vein on either side of the blade, like along the back end of the blade, that appears to be kind of leaking this greenish liquid. And it looks like a lot of it was injected into Wilbur's cranium.
That is so gross. I will take that and wipe it off on the ground.
Okay. Make a dexterity on the ground, you said?
Yeah, in the rain.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it has a sheath or anything, and it still seems to be leaking that green liquid. You don't know where you'd put it, and it looks like that's kind of bad.
Then could I wrap it up in a cloth or something?
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Also, while he's doing that, John, can I grab the satchel?
Yep. As you're about to do that, I'm going to give you one last chance. The man looks over his shoulder and says, "Don't bother with that. Come on. We must be quick." Do you continue trying to wrap the dagger, or do you just leave it?
I'll leave it.
Okay. You drop the dagger, and you pick up the satchel and everything else, and he starts walking away from where you guys parked. Pretty quickly.
I communicate for my horse to come up, and I'll just hop on and ride.
Okay. Yeah, you trot along, filing behind him. You head down Blue Street, past 31st to 30th Street, and come to another warehouse. This one's marked with the numbers 1, 2, 3. It's on the other side of the street, as you'd expect, and it looks like this place is a bit lower to the ground. Only 2 stories, and kind of small width-wise. And it looks like you can see that there's only one door underneath the numbers. He kind of walks over to it and politely opens the door and gestures for you to enter in from the rain.
Yeah, let
You so.
Okay.
I get off the horse and go in.
Okay. Keep wanting to be on this horse. I love it. You enter into a room. It looks like this room is made out of dwarf stone, which translates to concrete, and some wood sections. There are 2 wood sections, one on the north wall from you and one on the western wall from you. Both have these electric lights above them that seem to have like a red coloration to them, and both are brightly shining. So the room has kind of like a red light color to it. Once you've all entered in, he enters in behind you and shuts the door behind. Walks over to the western door, places his hand on the door, and the second he does so, the red light shuts off. Once it shuts off, the wall kind of falls away, and this bright light assails you from the other side of the door, almost like he was opening a gate to heaven itself. And this just bright white light shines out from you. And once you kind of adjust, you see that inside there's a small room, maybe 20 by 15. Not terribly small, but a smaller room. On the far wall opposite of where you're entering in, there's a large mirror. And there are a series of white leather couches around a white wooden table. And there seems to be a brown envelope on that table. He enters in first, kind of walks over and picks up the brown envelope and kind of holds it close to him. And as you guys kind of shuffle in, he's slowly circling back around you to the door.
So, why were you asking after us the other day?
Oh, all will be made clear. All will be laid bare, I assure you.
You said he's circling back to the door?
Yep.
I'm getting ready to respond to anything fishy.
Okay. He kind of looks at you, like, cautiously, not sternly, and kind of gestures towards it like he's going to close the door behind you guys.
I sort of like, okay, do a slight nod and...
It kind of looks like he was fishing for approval. He shuts the door in the same way he opened it. Once the door shuts, a red light appears above it. The light was present there before, but in the bright white of everything, it just kind of blends in. But yeah, you can see yourselves on the mirror, and everything else is just stark white. And he gestures, sit.
I take a seat.
Okay. As you sit down and kind of just get comfortable, you hear kind of a whirring sound and then a sound kind of appear. Sam, go ahead and make a intelligence arcana check.
Intelligence Arcana. Play up this one up. 11.
Sounds familiar, but you're not sure quite what it is. I guess I'll allow for Brox. You're pretty good with technology. Go ahead and roll one of them just in research checks.
20 or no 4.
Okay. You
I
hear the
do
humming.
also have a 16 intelligence.
Yeah, it's more about like Sam's gang affiliations and Brock's technology connections. Yeah, Lauren hasn't really been the most technically savvy guy.
That's fair.
Okay, but you do hear the activation, Brock's, of a device, and same for you, Sam. You think there's a device that's been activated, and the man holding the envelope, the mysterious man, kind of takes a step back and is kind of against a wall, just away from you guys and away from the table in the center there, just backed away. And you hear a disembodied voice kind of speak. It seems to maybe almost come from the mirror. You're not sure. But it says, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are well. I'm informed that you are persons of dignity. I hope that this is correct." Ren, immediately. That's the voice on the phone. "I have a need. I have a need for companionship, and it would please me greatly to hear the conversation of a particular person who resides in this city. His name is Hugo Dermot, and I would like you to find him and bring him here to me. It is a task for which you will be paid, of course, and your favor with Hadrian will increase, as he owes me a favor, and this is what he has pushed forward. My assistant has the relevant information. Contact him when you have succeeded. Your fee will reflect the level of your success. That is all." Who dropped?
Zach.
Zach.
Okay. Zach, you still there? Okay. Well, there he goes.
He's still sitting in Discords, but
He snapped back in.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm having a momentary computer issue.
Yeah.
Don't worry. So, what information can we get from the assistant then?
Well, the disembodied voice sounds like it's still listening, so you could probably talk to him if you want. The assistant, you can ask him what you like too. Again, these are conversations that have to be had.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is a physical description of the man you ask us to find?
Who are you asking, the voice or the man?
I ask the question to the open, whichever one answer.
Okay. Please, just inspect the dossier. You hear from the voice. You detect a level of annoyance in his response, the disembodied voice.
Oh, so we were given a dossier?
No. You haven't been given one yet.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's a detail that he can't be bothered with.
Yeah.
Can
okay.
you tell us more about the kind of companionship you see?
I'm sure that would be made clear just based on what you've seen so far, Mr. Wren.
It is not clear.
You don't see any response, but there's kind of a sigh of annoyance. The information will be made clear in the dossier. You hear it just kind of go silent for a second. Does anybody ask any other questions?
Seems like he doesn't want to be bothered.
Can we have the dossier now?
You understand what's going on, Matt?
The gentleman with the brown envelope kind of walks forward and hands it to Yen Lauren. You hear a, "That's fine," from the other side, and he finishes handing you the brown envelope.
Start reading.
Mr. 87, the look you've taken is acceptable and should allow you some freedom of moving around the city. I do apologize for the issues that you've been having. My associate does have something that can aid you in your issues, if you're willing to accept it.
I would love to see what he has to offer.
He reaches into his coat, kind of like fishes around, and then pulls out what appears to be just like a metal kind of flat piece, and then he kind of snaps it, and it forms like a circular halo, like a crown, and he hands it over to you.
What kind of like metallic color does it take?
It's kind of just like a dull gray, like gunmetal.
Okay. What a lovely shine or sheen, and I place it upon my head.
Okay. Yeah, fits perfectly. Yeah, doesn't seem to do anything, but you're now wearing a crown on your head. Do you pop open that brown envelope? That?
Oh yeah.
Inside there are 3 pieces of parchment. Each parchment seems to have notes written on it in very fine hand. Looks like a scribe of some sort, possibly an auto scribe, was used to create these documents. And the envelope reads as follows. Did that appear on your screen?
Yes.
Yes.
I will read aloud really quickly, just so you have the information. It starts on the first page. Begin record cleared -SK. Subject Dermot Hugo. Position courier. Operational level finger. Languages Common, Elvish, Draconic, Janaran, non-fluent, Meridian, non-fluent, Old Osirian, Shinese. Physical description 1.59 kilometers, or just meters, not kilometers. Wow, that'd be really tall. Weight 71 kilograms. Sex male original. Eyes blue original. Hair black original. Nationality Parnan. Medical history. In 990, stab wound lower abdomen healed by Shugenja. 991, resurrection by Shugenja after death while performing duties. Policy limit. 991, second bicuspid removed for redacted. It appears that whatever was written there has been blacked out. Employment history. Hired 987 for tasks in Parnak, Janaris, Vendar, where Seiryu-born operatives are too noticeable. Failure. 988. Removed as finger for 2-month period, absolutely no advancement possible. Embezzlement proven, but within acceptable levels for amount involved. Contacts: Demerith, Lorenzo, Saito, Yuki. Cross-reference: Caitlin, Jane. Female lover in period 5th month, 16th day, 990 to the 9th month of the same year. Conglomerate operative, current residence 313C, Abbey Way, Sunpike, Rostegar City, Rostegar, Parnak, Empire. Second contact in cross-reference toothpick, no other name on file. Proprietor of establishment, Yellow Eddie's Billiards, 24th Street, Bearport, Rostegar City, Rostegar, Parnak, Empire. End record. Begin record. Cleared -SK. Subject Saito Yuki. Position courier. Operational level finger. Languages Common, Shinese. Physical description: short, doesn't weigh much. Originally born a female, and is a female. Eyes green, which are lenses. Her original eye color is brown. Hair black, and that is her original hair color. Nationality Seiryu. Medical history redacted. Employment information: hired 989 to work as hostess for entertainment functions and personal secretary. Initially found unsuitable. Reprimand required. Suspension in 990 followed incident of insubordination when client cut Miss Saito. Verbal abuse ignored in light of more serious physical retaliation charge. Addicted to mushroom powder for 6-month period. Admitted into rehabilitation. Courier activities suspended after failures at first 2 attempts. Miss Saito passed Board of Inquiry at request of Hugo Dermont, courier. Or Hugo Demont, sorry. Keep on doing that. It should be Dermont. I don't know why it changed mid-typing. My bad. Contacts Dermont, Hugo. Further notes. Following recent absence, employment to be terminated. Presumed to be in Rostegar City, Rostegar, Parnak Empire. End record. Begin record, cleared -SK. Subject, Damarith, Lorenzo. Position, mercenary. Classification, blade only. Languages, common Old Osirian. Relatively tall Osirian male. Black hair, brown eyes. Medical history, also redacted. Contact listing is at the bottom there. It's history and profile, cleared -SK. Damarith is classified, and that question mark in the next section should be redacted, by the way, is classified as high-level mercenary assassin, known to have assassinated, redacted. Last recorded location, Liberus Kingdom, Osiria. Damarith is ruthless and likes violence, becomes uneasy and highly volatile when inactive. Only known weakness is gambling. Rumored to have outstanding debts of approximately 185,000 K, which, to the more savvy, you would know is koku, which is the gold coin used in Seiryu. Basically, it equates a guilder. Residence uncertain, but possibly Brayport, Liberus Kingdom, Osiria. Favorite techniques: strangulation, martial arts, way of shadow. Favored weapons: Landric style, pistol, old era, katana. Known aliases: Martine, Jean. Contacts: Dermont, Hugo. Further notes: do not employ -SK, end record.
Grab this some cloak and dagger stuff.
Yep, as he said, he wants to talk to the man.
Hardy knows quite a lot about him.
Well, I'm sure that he wants to talk to him.
Since you got that roll on the Kengo earlier, Sam, and you're pretty, for lack of a better term, insane, go ahead and make me a intelligence history check.
Nope, 10. I'm rolling shit in this thing tonight.
Okay. Yeah. Not very good. And then go ahead and make me a Wisdom Arcana check.
Right, Wisdom Arcana.
Mm-hmm.
That one thing. Yeah, really rolling shit on this thing tonight. That's a total.
What is it?
No, that should be higher. No, wait, that's right, because I don't have anything in Wisdom. Never mind, 7.
Okay, not good enough. Sucks. Okay, and then Ren, go ahead and make me a Wisdom Persuasion check.
Persuasion. So how do I do that?
Are you proficient in it?
I am not proficient in persuasion.
Wisdom only.
Yeah, just Wisdom.
So, thinking about the dialogue, what he said, what he's offered you, and everything that's happened so far, you do not doubt that this is on the level. You will receive everything promised if you follow through with this mission. The person on the other side, or the person who's speaking, appears to be not the type to double-cross for no reason. However, you are certain that if you and yours do anything that's outside of what you've been asked to do, you can expect the worst.
Pussy sounds creepy. Super creepy. Okay. I would say that to the group.
Wait, while we're in there?
No, when I have a chance, quietly. It's like, this guy is creepy as fuck.
We're still sitting on the couch with him listening. I don't think now's the best time.
Zach, make a charisma survival check.
I mean, John, I'm assuming my assumption is correct.
Natural 20.
Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, I'm assuming that my assumption is correct that this guy wants to talk to him in the same sense that, like, this guy wants to have, like, a cup of tea with him, and by that I mean break his legs. And,
Yeah, that's probably the one. You're not sure why, but you do note that from his case history, I mean, he was an embezzler, so maybe that. Anyway, Yen Lauren, with your 25, you would notice a couple of things that are kind of keying to you specifically. First off, he didn't imply it or state it outright, or he didn't state it outright, but he definitely implied it. Discretion in this objective is expected. You don't think that this guy is messing around. based on everything that's happened here, the lead up, the execution, and the step into this warehouse, basically it's kind of like it's an illustrative like theater. He is showing you this is what happens when you fuck with me, and this is what happens when you don't. And so you're kind of getting the message. Also noting that it's definitely notated towards discrepancy, kind of the key here. The other thing you note too is you do pick up on what Ren's picking up on, that he is definitely going to promise you things. But something about the way he's talking to you and the way he got annoyed with the questions that were being asked, you're pretty sure that this person kind of holds himself in a higher regard than you. And you've seen this from nobility. Hell, you've seen this from Gilbert in a kind of certain way. But like, he doesn't treat his interactions with you the same, or your group, the same way he would treat his interactions with possibly someone on his level.
Right.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else to ask or say while you're in this room? If not, the man in the coat kind of starts shuffling you towards the door.
No, this guy wants us out.
Yeah, no. Sam knows well enough right now. Best thing to do is keep your trap shut. Keep your head down.
The brown envelope does appear to be made out of kind of a leather. So you slide the dossier back in there, the documents back in there. You're pretty sure they'll be protected from the rain. And you guys head back to the car.
Guess so.
All right.
And that's when Ren says, "This guy's fucked up."
So messed up.
As we're sort of walking there, I ask, where do we plan on meeting up?
The gentleman, before you guys make it all the way outside, does look to Valette and reaches out to her with a device. Says, "When you're ready to contact me, this device is keyed to my device and my device only. I'll pick up."
Oh, I thank you kindly.
Nods his head. Shuts the door behind you as you exit.
So where are we all going to congregate to discuss this business of ours?
I mean, the car's right here.
No, it's not.
It's down the road.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm pointing towards the car, as in, you know, like. Not
And then
that
all
far.
right. So then I point to my horse.
You hop on your horse. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing.
Is
Where
the body
shall-
still there?
And if you guys head that way, you would see that corpse is still just laying in the ground. Yeah.
Could I
Yeah,
more
well,
carefully check out the dagger without hurting my...
You're pretty sure, based on the roll you got before, you don't have the expertise or skill to handle this kind of poison, and you're pretty sure that if you attempt to, it'll be problematic. But yeah, you can try if you want.
Alright. No, that's fine. I'll leave it be.
Okay. Yeah, and you're pretty sure that the wound to the head was pretty lethal, but you're pretty sure the reason why he wasn't able to like respond or react is, yeah, it was a double dose of death for that guy. All right. To the car.
Yeah, that guy's not coming back for.
No, he
The
did.
car.
All right, you guys get into the car. Rain's still battering down on the hood or on the roof of the car. It's a bit musky in here because you guys are all covered with rain. Unless you want to do something about it, Sam.
He doesn't
I mean,
have precedent. Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I can, like, use shape water to sort of flick it off of people, probably.
Yeah, you kind of just rip all the water off of everybody and just throw it outside in a small little bubble.
Yeah, Tim, there are other ways in prestidigitation to get things done.
Yep.
I do also have this if we need this, though.
All right. What do you do?
So,
Let's
I
still
think
waiting
we
for a
should-
response.
I was going to say, I think that we should go and talk to Toothpick. That seems like it might be the most, at least, potentially most recent contact of his, I'd imagine.
And where do we find this toothpick?
Where did? Oh, here's a brown envelope. Toothpick is. Where is Toothpick on this thing?
Yellow Eddie's Billiards.
Yeah, he'd be there.
You are on 30th or 31st and Blue, and based on directionality, you're pretty sure that Yellow Eddie's is on Yellow Avenue, and it's on 24th and Yellow.
We hop in paddy wagon and ride over.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if people look for that.
Valette also just makes the point that if we need to try and make contact or go once we find more information, that if we observe and maybe have somewhat of a conversation with Jane, that might prove useful, because Valette could assume her appearance.
Okay.
For just another after Toothpick, maybe also checking out Jane as well.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, old girlfriend might not be the start.
But, John, how far away is Yellow Ave and 24th from here?
Not more than maybe like a 10-minute walk, but probably like a couple minutes car ride.
I'll just take off on my horse as they're getting ready and meet them. Say I'll meet them there.
Okay. Can you chase after the horse? Zach?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess. I can't catch up and pass him and flip him off as I do, like, haha, eat my shit. Good old school technology.
Okay. Yeah, brum brum. You guys head on over that way. You arrive about the same time, and get out. As you kind of approach the area, you do notice that it's mid-afternoon, and the establishment doesn't exactly seem to be like open to the public at current. But the door does appear to be kind of not locked, and there are lights inside. It being dark out, you can tell. And it's set inside of a larger building, some 10-story building. Yeah. So you guys enter in. Very dark area, very seedy looking area. And when you get in there, start kind of looking around. It just doesn't appear that anybody of note is really here. There's like a couple of people who are standing over a table, sitting around a table, playing some sort of cue game. Yeah, just a bunch of random scraggly looking folk. Younger, older, some of them very much similar to the man who's lying dead in the street back that way. Just lowlifes, thugs, brigands, ne'er-do-wells, what have you.
Bad babies.
Alright. There are two main gentlemen and like kind of a throng of others. One's a younger fellow, probably 20s, but still just scraggly. Looks like he's pretty well tanned, muscular fellow. Doesn't really have any armaments on him, and except for the pull cue he has. Another gentleman across from him, older. He's kind of wrangling on a stick in his mouth and looking to the balls very thoroughly. When you walk in, he goes, welcome to Yellow. Kind of focuses in more on the stuff. Woman kind of walks over to you and says, "Oh, hello, gentlemen. Can I get you anything to drink or anything to eat? Anything at all?" Is that a no?
Drink and eat, yes, both.
Okay, I'll serve you over here at table 4. And she walks away, comes back with a pad of paper to table 4 if you meet her there.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we all have.
I'll say I am not that hungry, but a little parched. I'll just have a water if you would, please.
Not fair enough, sugar. All right. How about you? Go up.
Mutton and ale.
Well, we don't have much in the way of mutton, but we got some lean. Go ahead and bring it out. All right. And how about you? Pointy ears.
We'll have the same as the dwarf.
All right. Oh, how about you? Many colors.
Yeah, this meal sounds fine. Thank you.
And how about you? Green tie.
Yeah, I'll have bacon and eggs.
I think I can muster up some bacon. Might be a little bit easier than the lean you guys have been asking about. All right. Be back in a bit. Walks away.
Well, also,
Huh?
last, just for, why did I say last? That's wrong. Anyway, really quickly, just wondering, is the proprietor around here anywhere?
That's him right there. Points to the guy with the toothpick in his mouth. Walks back away.
Where he gets his name from?
And the man kind of looks over to you as you ask that, kind of aloud because she was walking away. He says, "Yeah, how can I help you, cabbage head?"
We're just looking around for a friend of ours.
Oh yeah.
Heard that you might know him.
Oh yeah. Who's that?
Looking for Hugo Dermott. Yeah, I've got the notes in front of me. I was just need to scroll up.
Yeah. I remember Hugo. Hasn't really been around here lately. But haven't really seen him in a year. And I don't want your money, and it won't change my mind. Now, it's just like I told them other fellas. You can wreck the place if you want, but it ain't gonna change what I'm saying.
I mean,
Who is these other fellas of whom you speak?
The fellows with the horses on their shoulders.
Are we familiar with that sign?
anything?
Yeah.
One at a time. One at a time.
We asked the same question.
Okay. What was the question? Because I didn't hear it. You were all saying it.
Go ahead, Zach.
What does that mean anything to any of us?
The way he kind of describes it and look to his shoulder, he sounds like he's talking about heraldry, which nobles sometimes will wear on their shoulders. Apparently, this guy's talking about folks who have horses on their tabards. You can make an intelligence history check if you want. Zach, you'd be making it at disadvantage because you're not a local, to see if you can't recognize the noble house we're talking about.
is that for anyone or just for
Anyone, yeah. Zach is not a local, so he'll have disadvantage.
12.
Yep.
15?
Okay. No, doesn't sound familiar.
So you said
6.
history?
Yeah, intelligence history, yep. To all of you guys, it doesn't sound
23.
like a house you're familiar with. Definitely a minor house.
23.
Yeah, no, I heard him.
For round.
Oh no. Wow, nice. Alright, that's fair.
I was saying you guys don't know it, and then I was going to say Ren, on the other hand, he focuses in on it and thinks about it. There's a small minor house, a barony, known as the Remix, and their icon is indeed a yellow horse on a brown field. And to your knowledge, thinking about it, they were once renowned for having a lot of horses, but the Pod War had something more than just human casualties that affected the Empire. A lot of the horses in Rostagar, and also the other kingdoms involved in the Pod War, the number of horses has diminished. The reason that Valette doesn't ride an actual horse and instead rides a device that's constructed to operate like a horse is because horses are very rare. Very expensive too. But yeah, you know that they once were renowned for their horses.
Why do we go ahead?
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Would I have any sense at all of why people from that barony would be hassling him?
Do you ask aloud?
Yeah, why not?
Because I don't know why they wanted to deal with me. I don't care. They were looking for the same folk you're looking for, so probably the same reason you're looking for them.
Okay, so they were looking for Hugo as well.
Yep.
What about his girlfriend? Have you seen her? Jane?
Are you talking about the? You're talking about that lady he was fucking? Jane, you said? Yeah, that sounds familiar. She lives in Sunpike somewhere. I don't think they are really in conversation, or I mean, they weren't. Like it was 2 years ago, maybe it was a year ago. I think it was 2, maybe a little less than 2 years ago that they were even talking. She came around here a couple of times, but I don't think they were much of a thing.
Okay.
Hugo travels a lot, you know? He was working for some Eastern group, a company or something. Okay, I don't remember its name, but anyways, he did a lot of work. And he'd passed through Rostigar, but like I said, I haven't seen him in a year. He's been all about. He was always boasting, hey, he'd been places like Osiria, or he's been all the way to the west coast of Janaris. And those are just places I've heard about in storybooks back in general school.
I'm just wondering, is this guy like lying to us?
Doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
Do you perhaps know of Putterson or a way we might be able to talk to this man?
I know where he used to live, but I don't think he's there anymore. So, but like I'm saying, I told those 3 fellows that came in here with the horses on their shoulders the same thing I'm telling you. Haven't seen him in a year. Don't know anything about this Jane person you just mentioned, other than I've seen her a couple of times in the past. And, well, she used to get with Hugo. And, other than that, that's about it. He, used to live in an apartment complex. He rattles off a name, and you guys all immediately recognize it as being the same apartment complex that Gilbert lives in.
Oh, it's
Super helpful.
Alright, maybe we'll kick after him there. If you do randomly see him somehow or another, just tell him that there's a couple of people looking for him for a little bit of work.
Yeah. And you know what they call that place, right? I mean, do you know where I'm talking about? He's mentioning the apartment building.
Oh yeah, we know where that's at.
They call it the garbage pail. You've heard of it, right?
Yeah, that's so fitting.
Yeah, I've got this one trashy friend that lives there.
Yeah.
Don't really care too much for him, but you know.
Well, if he's living there, I bet he's a real loser.
You'd be surprised at how much of a...
Well, fair enough. Good luck finding him. Like I said, if that's the case, just don't come around these parts unless you're just looking for a good time, not looking for somebody to do whatever you're going to do to him.
Right.
You are fed your food and your drinks, and you pay your coin. Everybody, if you spent money on food, just drop a couple silver down on it. And that'd be 2 silver, by the way. And just let me know where you're heading after that.
Does that mean we go back to Gilbert's apartment complex?
I suppose.
Could check out there. There were a couple of other people on the sheet to follow up with if we can't find him there.
Yeah. Sunpike is about an hour and a half, maybe an hour's drive away. You also know that there's a toll system on the bridges that cross the rivers, and that'll cost you a bit of a coin. 2 gold to pass the bridge, and that's each time. But based on the description of the location there, you're pretty sure it's not too far away from the Pharaohs.
Right, and also,
which is hoity-toity neighborhood, like rich folk neighborhood.
just also the rest of the people in this thing that aren't Hugo or his contacts. Do we have any there's no location information for them in here besides
Correct.
just...
Yeah, if they had their
Okay,
locations,
so-
they probably wouldn't be calling you.
Should
Yep.
we ask him about Yuki and Lorenzo?
Might as well.
Do you
Well-
speak about Yuki and Lorenzo?
Lorenzo, it seems like nowhere near here. He is in last known location, Old Osir, the Osiria Liberus Kingdom. But Psycho Yuki, we got to figure out a lead for Yuki because that might be someone yes worth trying to. Okay.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I'm not
hurt,
sure if
guys.
this guy would know who they are because I don't think it sounds like this guy knows enough to know that.
Time-wise, just so you have a heads up, it's getting close to like 2-ish, maybe 1 or 2-ish. So you guys would know that Gilbert's business probably isn't going to move past 3-ish. And basically, out of character segue, if you guys go back to the apartment complex, I'll basically end the session for tonight, and we can key off with Gilbert the next time we play. Or, if you guys want to continue without Gilbert, we can go a different direction. But I do notice that it looks like, Zach, you might be a little sick.
Yeah, and I'm exhausted, dude.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead and say that you guys head back that way, and we'll call it an evening, because I'm getting kind of sweaty myself. Hope you didn't pass me your germs. And we'll key it up next Friday. So you guys are going back to the apartment complex, and we'll continue this delicious little caper then. Thanks for watching.
So we're
everybody.
good for the 21st?
21st.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm solid for the 21st. Everybody else?
Same, yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, unless something disastrous comes up.
Stopping the stream. Thanks for watching. See you next time.